This is a wonderful archaeological discovery in the USA having to do with our cliff dwellers, the Pueblo Native American Indians. Researchers crack the secrets of Native American astronomy. Now we know that this area is an area of the Cliff Palace in North America, a structure built by the ancestral Pueblans located in Mesa Verde National Park in their former homeland area. The cliff dwelling and park are in the southwestern corner of Colorado, in the southwestern United States, and it has a very deep history. The construction was out of sandstone, mortar, and wooden beams. The sandstone was shaped using harder stones, and a mortar of soil, water, and ash was used to hold everything together. The chipping stones were placed within the mortar to fill gaps and provide stability. You can see, and they're still standing after all these thousands of years. Archaeologists believe that Cliff Palace contains more clans than surrounding Mesa Verde communities, and it stems from a higher ratio of rooms to the kivas. The Cliff Palace has a room to kiva ratio of 9:1. An average room to kiva ratio for Mesa Verde is 12:1. Now, as for the breakthrough and the secrets of their knowledge of astronomy, archaeologists studying the wall carvings of the communities in Castle Rock, Pueblo, discovered astonishing astronomical practices that date back 800 years. Now, for example, this Cliff Palace was supposedly constructed 1200 AD, and that it took them a majority of 20 years to construct this community construction, the houses there. And they found the drawings dating back 800 years, according to Sebastian Kentley of Express UK. The discovery, of course, was made in southwest Colorado, and they believe that the Pueblo people had a very good understanding of the sun's movement across the skies. This is located in Mesa Verde National Park. The Mesa Verde Pueblo people carved the settlements, as we said, into the rocks, into the sandstone, and the settlements were constructed about the 13th century. Okay, and the Native American tribes left behind a trove of information about their life and their culture. The archaeologists were from Poland, and they were interested in about 40 Pueblo settlements that were adorned with these bizarre carvings and the murals. The researchers from the Jagiellonian University of Krakow, Poland, were surprised to find some of the carvings correspond to specific astronomical events. Now, why would they be so interested in the sun's movements? The discovery could only have been confirmed on 4 specific dates when the sun traveled across the skies in a very unusual manner. According to Dr. Radoslaw Palonka of the Poland University, the carving's meaning was that they were unveiled during the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes. Solstices and equinoxes. And the archaeologists told the Polish press, quote, "Since 2014, we have been discovering numerous carvings and rock paintings. Some of them were not even known to scientists until now," end quote. And from these carvings were located the shadowy recesses of the Pueblo settlements. The archaeologists speculate they were illuminated only on very specific dates. Dr. Palonka said, "Our intuition did not deceive us. We believe these carvings are in at least 6 of the settlements studied by us, and in 2 we have carried out direct observations over many hours and many days." Now, on these carvings was found a south-facing wall next to a defensive structure from 800 years ago, from the 13th century AD. The carvings show many geometric patterns and spiral shapes that at first might not make any sense, but because the carving is protected by a rock overhanging, it spends most of the year in shadows. But on the day of the winter solstice, on December 22nd, the sun's rays pass over the rock and its individual carvings, and during the winter solstice, the Earth's north pole is tilted away from the sun as far as possible. Now, as a result of this tilt, cold weather settles in the northern hemisphere and the sun is at its lowest elevation of the sky. Dr. Polanka said it turned out during the winter solstice on December 22nd. The sun's rays move across the entire central section of the panel with the carvings and pass through the spirals and the longitudinal cuts. The same effect was observed 6 months later during the spring equinox, which takes place in March. Even though the Pueblo people eventually abandoned this settlement in the canyon, there are still modern-day Pueblo tribes living across America, and interviews with some of these have led Dr. Polanka to believe that the intricate wall carvings served as their calendars. The archaeologist said the first interactions between the sun and the spirals on the carving-covered panel began a few weeks before the winter solstice. The phenomenon could signal the start of preparations and the whole process of rituals and ritual treatments, dances and celebrations, which culminated during the winter solstice. Now, the archaeologists also said that astronomical events such as the solstices and equinoxes still play crucial roles for the Pueblo tribes in Arizona and New Mexico. He said even today they mark rituals, celebrations, and events tied to agriculture, such as sowing, harvesting, and preparations for all these practices. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.